Summons Uranus.
The episode of this week begins with Innocent Zero claiming that Mash is his son. He uses his magic to stop time, freezing everyone around, including our hero, Mash. Innocent Zero then stands in front of Mash, revealing that he has been searching for him for a long time, placing his hand on Mash's face. He expresses surprise at finally finding him, and suggests combining their powers for greater perfection. As they start using their magic together, the headmaster of the academy suddenly appears and informs Innocent Zero that he cannot exploit Mash. The academy's students and staff remain frozen, and the headmaster, as the Eastern overseer, forbids Innocent Zero from interfering with his students. He warns that he will not allow him to meddle in any student affairs unless he wishes to face death. Innocent Zero expected such a response from the headmaster, as he knows that he cannot defy him when using his time-stopping magic. However, when one of Innocent Zero's students prepares to attack Walberg, the headmaster, Walberg uses his magic on the student, causing something strange to happen. The student trembles in fear and obeys Walberg's command to retreat, labeling him as detestable. Innocent Zero admonishes Walberg not to humiliate his allies. He then questions Walberg about his goal, and Walberg reveals that he seeks to become a perfect and immortal being. When asked if he would sacrifice the lives of many for this goal, Innocent Zero dismisses such actions as trivial. He mocks the idea of stealing magical power, torture, and murder, stating that his entire family, including Mash, exists for him. He claims that Mash will become a beacon of hope for the world. Walberg laughs and scoffs at Innocent Zero's words, telling him that if he wants to take Mash, he must first surpass him. Innocent also uses his magic, and magical staffs appear for both of them. Walberg summons Uranus, while Innocent calls upon Kronos. As the confrontation begins, strange monsters emerge from the ground, surprising Walberg. Innocent explains that he desires only his son Mash and unleashes demonic creatures, prompting Walberg to use his time-stopping magic. Walberg addresses the confused crowd, assuring them that he will explain later. He challenges anyone capable of defeating the demons to do so. While he deals with Innocent, Mash and his friends then launch an attack on the monsters, each using their unique spells to defeat some of the demons. Caldo, Walberg's assistant, approaches the remaining demons, stating the necessity of killing them to aid Walberg in defeating Innocent. He eliminates all the demons and urges everyone to support Walberg in the battle against Innocent. Meanwhile, in the sky, Order appears to save Caldo from a surprise attack by other monsters. Order advises Caldo to go and assist Walberg. The focus returns to the students battling the seemingly endless wave of demons. They strive to withstand the onslaught until reinforcements arrive. Suddenly, a peculiar figure appears atop the academy wall, wielding a strange weapon. The students fear an impending attack, but Macro reassures them that none of the demons are targeting Mash. It becomes evident that Mash is being used as bait. This is a big trap, and I expect they have a sure way to get what they want. Dot screams, saying, "How did you know that?" Macron replies, "It's just a woman's intuition." And Dot laughs, saying, "Of course he has a woman's heart then. I wonder about that all the time." Then he calls for Mash to leave immediately, as they can handle those little monsters. However, he can deal with the fighters in the Innocent Tower because he is very strong. Mash agrees and quickly rushes until he reaches the large thorny tower. Climbing it would take a very long time, but Mash doesn't do that. Instead, he stops to think for a moment, looks up, and begins using his physical strength to strike the tower repeatedly until he completely breaks it. He tells the boy with yellow hair. Here we meet again. The boy informs him that there is no use in bringing down the tower. The magic won't disappear unless Mash defeats him. Then, Mash tells him words that indicate he didn't remember when they sat together during the entrance ceremony, surprising the other. He asks if Mash forgot him. Mash looks around, his face changing, then apologizes, saying that the other's reaction was strange because what happened between them shouldn't be forgotten so easily. The scene shifts to Mash's friends fighting the monsters. Dot uses his fire attacks, eliminating many, and another uses strikes to kill others until Macron arrives. He uses sound waves, killing a large group. Everyone fights with all their might, but Dot exclaims at the overwhelming number of monsters. Suddenly, he hears the sound of a baby crying, turns around, and finds a baby. He wonders why there's a child in this place. The child then uses magic on Dot, turning him into a baby with a pacifier in his mouth. Another child transforms into a grown person and reveals himself as one of the criminals, claiming to be Seer Baby, turning his magical goals into baby targets. Dot gets very angry, but it's comical as when he uses his power. It looks like a child playing with some when the attempt fails. Dot quickly runs away, tears streaming from his eyes. Now, he can't use any real power. He runs at top speed, calling for help from Lance, shouting, "Lance, Lance, please help me." Lance turns around, looks at him and says, "Enough with the jokes, baby. Look at what's happening around you." Dot insists, I'm not joking, but Lance doesn't understand a word he's saying. In those moments, the wizard uses his magic, but Lance narrowly avoids it in the nick of time. He finally realizes that Dot has indeed transformed into a baby due to the magic. The wizard grabs Dot from his diaper, lifts him up and says, "Look at the nurturing gaze on this wizard's face. Things can change." Some monsters attack Lance, but he dodges them at the last moment. While Lance tries to rescue Dot from this situation, the wizard uses the same magic on him, turning Lance into a baby as well. The two babies play together as if everything has completely changed. The wizard informs them that since they have transformed into this form, their defeat is guaranteed. They can't use their usual 10 magical powers, enjoying the bullying of helpless creatures. They are now creatures incapable of self-defense, and there's no pleasure that matches it. The wizard is not worried about getting hurt. It's a one-sided match, however, Lance has a different opinion. Despite being a baby, he manages to use his power and injures the wizard. The villain is surprised that he was harmed so significantly by a small child, and Dot reflects that Lance's powers are limited, but compensated by reducing the range of his magic. Despite the enemy's powerful magic, the actual caster was weak, and Lance, the top student in our genius class, easily defeated him. Lance mocks the villain, stating it was indeed a one-sided match. They return to their normal state, and Lance remarks that they still have enemies to be wary of. Meanwhile, we shift to Ryu-san and the boy flying in the sky. The boy asks about the connection between Walberg and Innocent Zero. Ryu-san explains that a great sorcerer named Adam formed the magical world and became the founder of the enlightened sky. His power became immense, and Walberg and Innocent Zero were his best students. The boy is surprised and asks if their powers are equal. Ryu answers in the affirmative, but they put in effort to ambush them, confident of success. If Walberg loses under any circumstances, it will be switching scenes. We see Walberg and Innocent Zero. Innocent Zero expresses happiness about their first meeting in a while. He removes the head covering, revealing no face at all. Walberg is horrified, and Innocent informs him that he has surpassed his. Innocent taunts him, questioning if Walberg will still call him a friend. Then, he reveals his face again, shocking Walberg. Innocent claims to be more human than anyone, driven by deep desires and insatiable greed. These two desires today: to take Mash as his pawn and to see Walberg dead. He uses a forbidden spell called Time of the Living Dead with his staff. The spell manifests clock hands rapidly spinning, followed by the opening of a gate with iron restraints. Walberg is terrified, as Innocent is using a forbidden magic from the other side. Meanwhile, we return to Mash and his companions, and the villain is angered because Mash has forgotten his name. However, from Machi's perspective, he envisions the head of this villain as a piece of delicious bread he loves. This infuriates the villain, who threatens to kill Machi. He then attempts to strike Machi with a pointed rock in the tower, but Machi effortlessly dodges it. The villain, still angered, mentions hearing about Machi's friend being stabbed, but still alive, likening them to persistent insect. After venting, the villain declares he'll go kill Machi's friend after dealing with Machi. Machi, undeterred, questions whether the villain is brave or simply following the same pattern as his other friends. The scene then shifts to Dot, hoping that Mashle is okay. The villain recalls the carbon spear and remembers Machi using it through Abel's doll last time. As Mashle confronts the villain, he recalls the carbon spear and activates a spell, producing numerous carbon spears. However, the focus switches to Dude, hoping Mashle is safe. The villain leaps onto the carbon spears in the air, evading all attacks with swift agility. The villain launches an intense assault, but Mashle effortlessly jumps from spear to spear, reaching the villain. With a powerful punch to the face, the villain falls to the ground, blood oozing from his mouth. Surprised, the villain wonders why Mashle is now much stronger, recognizing him as the spiky black man but recalling having seen this before. Mashle replies that the villain has mistaken him for someone else. The revelation terrifies the villain, realizing he's facing a formidable force. The episode concludes, teasing upcoming episodes and urging viewers to subscribe and activate the notification bell for future updates.